Hey everyone, and welcome back to HipHop Noise. Today we're going to be talking about Pop Smoke.
We can't afford to slip up, make no mistakes, you heard? Because they watching and they want us to.
Can we get a big woo in the room?
Whoa!
Rapper Pop Smoke has been shot and killed in what appears to be a home invasion robbery.
Rising New York rapper Pop Smoke has died. He was 20 years old.
They say Pop Smoke was shot and killed during an early morning break-in at a home in the Hollywood Hills.
One of the rising stars of the rap game, and his tragic death earlier this year. Make sure you stay until the end to find out what really happened to one of the industry's young prodigies. Pop Smoke was on his way to becoming one of the most popular new rappers of 2020. If he were still alive today, there's no doubt he would be dominating the rap game, especially since the release of his album Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, which sold over 250,000 copies in its first week. Rising to popularity against all odds, it's a surprise that Pop Smoke's story isn't so well known. Pop Smoke was born Bashar Barakah Jackson on July 20th, 1999 in New York to a Panamanian father and a Jamaican mother. Most of his childhood was spent in the Canarsie section of Brooklyn, which is notoriously violent. An area so dangerous that in early 2020 there were 3 separate drive-bys within the span of 15 minutes. To give you an idea of the kind of environment Pop grew up in. Because of gang culture in the area, Pop Smoke found himself selling drugs and guns by the age of 13, even being expelled from school and getting 2 years house arrest for bringing a gun to class in 8th grade. So it's fair to assume that his childhood wasn't easy. A video recently surfaced showing Pop being slapped around by a group of New York Bloods back in 2012, one of whom Pop would run in 2 years later. But for this time, Pop had his own crew. But despite these troubled circumstances, Pop still believed he could make it in the NBA. Yes, you heard that right. Pop was actually something of a basketball prodigy, top of his school, and even earned himself a scholarship at Rock Top Academy in Philadelphia. This could have been a new beginning for Pop, a way out of the hood, and an opportunity for him to reach his dream. Unfortunately, that dream was shattered when Pop was diagnosed with a heart murmur and he was forced to give up sports. While this was a hard blow for Pop, it's also what led him to start his music career. This is when he started writing raps and making music. But it wasn't until 2018 that Pop's music career really started. Hanging out with other recording artists, he started remixing popular songs from the New York drill music scene before he started creating his own original music. While at a Brooklyn recording studio with rapper Jay Guapo, Pop Smoke entered the booth after Guapo supposedly got so high he passed out. He just wanted to see if he could do it, and he could. In early 2019, Pop would release his first single, NPR, which became a massive success and gained him his much-deserved buzz in the Brooklyn area. Later, he released Flexing, which received 100,000 views on YouTube within a day. In April 2019, after befriending Rico Beats, who was acquainted with record producer Stephen Victor, Pop Smoke announced he had signed with Universal Music subsidiary called Victor Victor Worldwide. The same month, he released the single Welcome to the Party from his debut mixtape Meet the Woo, which would later be remixed by Nicki Minaj and also the British rapper Skepta in August of 2019. The popularity of this single, which he apparently created in less than 30 minutes by the way, jump-started Pop Smoke's career. One notable aspect of Pop's style was his use of UK drill production, an influence that came from Pop's frequent collaboration with English music producer 808 Mello and can be seen throughout his discography. Following the success of Meet the Woo, Pop started collaborating with other popular artists, such as Little TJ on the single War, with Callboy on the song 100K on a Coupe, and in December 2019, he collabed with Travis Scott and Jack Boys on Gatti. It was around this time that Pop was arrested at JFK Airport after returning from Paris Fashion Week. The charge was transporting a stolen vehicle across state lines, as Pop had kept a Rolls Royce he borrowed for a music video in California and was supposed to return it the next day. He even posted a photo of himself standing in front of the stolen car on Instagram, and the car was eventually found at Smoke's mother house in Brooklyn. Pop pleaded not guilty and was released the same day on $250,000 bail. 12 days before his untimely death, Pop released his second mixtape, Meet the Woo 2, which features collaborations with rappers such as Quavo, A Boogie with Da Hoodie, 5-0 Foreign, and Little TJ. But unfortunately, the Pop Smoke story ends here. During the early hours of February 19, 2020, 4 hooded men entered the home Pop was renting in Beverly Hills and shot him twice. A gunshot to the torso was a cause of death. Months later in July, 5 men were arrested in connection with Smoke's murder. 4 were charged with murder, and the 5th with attempted murder. Since the murder took place during a robbery, the 2 adults, Corey Walker and Keandre Rogers, were eligible for the death penalty. At first, people assumed it was a targeted hit, given Pop Smoke's history of involvement with gang culture. But it soon became clear that that probably wasn't the case, seeing as Pop had been posting videos and photos of the view from his home, and even once made the mistake of showing his address on Instagram Live. Pop's best friend and brother Mike D also once posted a photo where the house number is visible in the background. Because of this, some fans started to speculate that Mike had set Pop Smoke up. An accusation to which D immediately responded, saying, "Can't nothing express the pain I'm feeling? I've just lost my fucking brother. You guys have no sense of sympathy. Would never in my life set my brother up. We ate together, broke bread together. This really my mother child. I don't got to explain nothing to nobody." Danny Schwartz from The Ringer had this to say about Pop. He conquered New York rap and gave the city the kind of ready-made and potential defining star it hadn't seen in years. His work ethic especially was signed out for praise from his peers in the industry. 50 Cent, who executive produced Pop Smoke's posthumous album, said that Pop was always writing what he said down, and Quavo stated that when talking with Pop, he felt like he was talking to somebody that had been in the game for 3 years already. Pop was applauded for his work within the community. Because of how strongly he wanted to leave his old lifestyle behind, he tried to keep the kids from his neighborhood off the streets. Producer Rico Beats said that Pop had been telling kids don't go the gang route and that he wanted to be a better person. Following his death, his family announced the launch of Shoot for the Stars, a foundation created by Smoke aimed at helping and inspiring inner city youth growing up in difficult circumstances. Several murals of Pop were also created around his neighborhood of Canarsie. Many of his songs also became popular during the George Floyd protests in New York City as symbols of resistance. Needless to say that Pop's tragic death greatly impacted the rap game and the community of his home county of Brooklyn, especially seeing as he was only 20 years old at the time of the shooting and was never really given the opportunity to grow as an artist and gain the recognition he deserved. While you are here, go ahead and click on one of these 2 videos on your screen. See you there.